everyone. So, before we get too far, I'm going to shield for just a minute so I can share. Okay, let's go live now. Actually, let's switch back to Wizards Unite and then go live. Okay, so where we're at, you can see there, need 2 more wizarding challenges and a bunch of brilliant event XP. And you can see where I'm at there. So, we are actually going to drive to a local park. My son needs picked up in about an hour. So, let's actually, before I drive out, go there. Okay. So, I have the stream chat open. If I happen to see it, I'm not promising. And if sometimes it falls, and I only glance when I have some time, if I'm stopped or something. So, there's that. I think I said this yesterday on my little bit longer than we anticipated. So until those are resolved, I can't do anything. So we have had announced that we will be getting a gift for everything that happened during Wizarding Weekend. We will also, they also came out and announced that the wording on some of the things you spend red books on and things like that in the SOS the wording was off. And so they've clarified that, and they've said that the wording will be changed to correctly reflect what is going to be happening in the next update. So there's that. A lot of people, from what I can tell on Discord, are upset, having spent red books to progress to certain things, and then experiencing that what it said was not actually what happened, and now finding out that what's happening is what was planned, but the wording was off. And feeling that they wouldn't have spent the red books they did for those things had they known. So, who knows there? It does seem that they may be having a bit of trouble with finances right now. I'm not sure, but something's going on with their programming and writing. Hopefully that doesn't mean that they're trying to phase out Wizards Unite and give up on it. I know they had a 10-year plan for it, at least. So hopefully they are able to follow through with that 10-year plan. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. I do know, though, hopefully they've learned from Pokemon Go, because it also died down after a certain amount of time. And you had your more loyal ones are the ones that stayed. I think the same with their other game, Ingress. So hopefully they've kind of planned that in and they get things figured out. The programming can start figuring out the bugs, getting on top of them and making sure bugs aren't there. Part of me wonders if, and this may sound bad, but wonders if there was recently one of their coders left and has actually slipped in a number of bugs and issues, and that's kind of what we're dealing with, is they're trying to find it all. And they don't really want to roll back to a previous one because that can cause problems in and of itself. Hopefully that's what's going on. And things get resolved pretty quickly. Obviously, my son played my phone last. I didn't realize he went for stuff while we were driving. I'm not complaining. So when I took him to school, he must have been playing. So I do need to go after some wizarding challenges. So once I catch everything, I think that's what we'll do. Looks like we're no longer guaranteed to get the next level up. So the reason I'm going after these is for the books. Why would you look in something like that, see the tendril coming out, and not do anything about it? Just brush it off. Serves him right. The only reason I'm willing to try and, or that I would be willing to try and consider returning the tank of brains is so that a muggle didn't get caught with it too. But it sure as heck would serve the calamity the person that's helping the calamity, right? Why does it keep trying to make me go after things for ingredients? I don't want the in other than for gifts. Or not the end, the greenhouse. Now I would plant or consider planting, but my son doesn't have school tomorrow. They are 4 days a week. He has school 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, from 8 to 11:15. High school. That's the way his high school's working it. Wrong one. This one. I was gonna say, where's the spell energy on the ground? Okay, that's the training. That's that. Now let's check out the gifts, just in case, because I suspect it's what I suspected. But I am glad I got the Barufias. Okay. Now, how many gifts are we at? We've still got plenty of room. 2, Oh, I was going to check one thing before I do that. Okay, yes, we still need all of them. Okay, now we need 2 ors, or an or and a professor. Now we need an or a professor. If anyone gets on and wants to come find fortresses with me, let me know and I will go down and start beaming in runes. After, obviously not while I'm in the middle of a fight, but other than that. And with 2 magies, I don't have to jump out as much. Unless we start filling up with just things for magies. Professor, do you think you could drop proficiency soon? So even when there's 2 of us, I wait until I'm sure that one of us has dropped bravery before I start healing, unless they're dead. I'll revive, but I won't heal. And that's why. Because sometimes, and I know I'm a little bit low, but now it would be really nice for the professor to drop proficiency. I do know the professor should have enough because I had enough. Unless the ors are giving me all of it and not giving the professor any. I'm guessing the other Magi's also doing some healing. Wonder where all three went. Must have gone in right as I clicked in. That doesn't look good out there either. There's only one ore and all the other... There was one for the Magi and everything else was for ores. Hopefully it starts looking better quickly. We have 2 professors, 2 Magis, and 1 ore. But there were 4 Death Eaters / Dark Wizards out there. Oh good, we got proficiency. Thank you, Professor. Whichever one of you it was. makes the whole game so much easier. Had to check the time. And the reason I'm not counting and going out is because there are two of us, so I'm hoping the other is also watching. And that did not look good. Especially with the number of these out here. Thank you for the shield. I was starting to get really worried. Okay, we're all still good. And thank you for that one. Oh. That was a great team. I'm glad I got in there when I did to help them out. I hate doing this, but I had nothing else I could go for, so. Sitting here listening to that, and I just reflecting on kids and everything else, and remembering that when I was young, a young mother, I had a uncle who told me, you shouldn't ever yell at your kids or anything else. Now, keep in mind, his kids were teenagers or older. They were, my cousins, and he was one of the older ones to have kids. It makes a happy home when you're calm and everything else, and looking back on it now, I don't yell at my kids now as much as I did then. One, I had PTSD. But two, it's a whole nother ballgame when your kids are little. So if you have kids and are told that, just ignore it. And this is hard because I can't see where I'm at. Guess I'll just do that and hope, because I don't want to risk. Anyone else have issues with that? One's at. Okay, we're still good. And it looks like I better start doing halfway and letting the oars take over. And like it's a good thing I dropped my healing potion when I did. Okay. Let's go for these harder ones. Come on, I said go for it, not pretend to go for it. Because I think I'm the only Magi in this battle. And I had forgotten that. Guess I have to go after it completely because I can't run. Okay, now let's actually run and go heal people first. Oops, oh well. Got a bit carried away because I was thinking about the fact that call and everything else. So, it's the one I thought it was that I was having, that I didn't have. I was figuring the one with 0 was Harry Potter's. That one I need to go lower for. I'm not seeing as many people in 2 or 3 either. And I really don't want to do 3 on my own again yet. I mean, I've done it. I've completed it. What I'd like to do is save up my potions and everything for 4. Ah, come on, Professor Sprout. Come on, Professor Flitwick. Okay. I've got some gifts to give away. I'm going to go at least drive towards my son's school and go from there. Obviously, I need to get some more energy too, so... almost seem to get, just looking here, get more energy at my house than I do coming to this public park where there's, and using the ends unless I out and hit every one of the ends. With the number of people that were there, I don't dare get out right now. I am still being very careful about everything coronavirus, etc. related. Where I actually talked to my son's school today, because they had asked if he should be put on the high-risk list. And I said, actually, yeah, I kind of prefer that. So, anyone who's catching this and doesn't know, because I haven't streamed on Twitch very long, and I don't know if anyone's watching or not currently. My husband has type 2 diabetes. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. My son has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Well, actually, all of my biological kids do. My stepkids don't, or at least one of them doesn't. And I'm not sure on the other, just because the other, she's flexible, but the flexibility may be due to the years of dance and everything her mom had her in. And so that one's a little bit harder to say. But my husband definitely, I'm pretty positive, does not have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So, and my ex didn't. I'm pretty positive. So, that would mean that my parents both have it. And on top of that, they both have symptoms of it. So, it's kind of one of those, the things that narrows down that I got hit with. I don't know if you call it the lucky or unlucky genes. Because there are some times that having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome has greatly benefited me and my family. There are times when it is not so good. And that just varies by the situation. Now, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in some countries is considered high risk. Italy, for example, is one of the ones that considered it high risk. The U.S. does not have it on their list of being high risk. Most countries don't. And I'm sure part of that is trying to separate out what is high risk due to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome versus what is high risk due to secondary conditions due to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, or comorbidities of frequent comorbidities of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is difficult. And there aren't enough people diagnosed to be able to get a high enough rate of people who have just been diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and do not have any comorbidities to be able to make a determination if Ehlers-Danlos syndrome in and of itself is high risk. So they aren't including it. Part of the reason for the issue with getting it with enough people being diagnosed is, one, there's enough types. Some of them are recessive, some of them are primary. Each of them have different issues. And so I don't know, even doing that you'd want to include all Ehlers-Danlos syndrome together. Obviously, someone with vascular EDS, period, in and of itself, based on just that diagnosis, is high risk. Because that is cardiac issues, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. Others is cardiac issues are not guaranteed. Few things like that. So when you take all that together, and then you take the fact that one of them, so HEDS is a dominant trait, which means if you have the gene, you have it. even if you only got it from one parent, if you got the gene, you have it, even though they don't know what gene it is. And that's another issue. They don't know the gene for it. So it could be multiple different genes, and they just haven't differentiated between them yet. But at the same time, average age of diagnosis from symptoms, from the first severe symptom, is about 20 years. So 10 or 20 years, I can't remember which. I think it's 20 years. So let's say your first severe symptom, your first major dislocation, your first other issues, GI or cardiac or this or that, or, there's a lot of different issues. From the first time you start with one of them to diagnosis of EDS is 10 to 20 years. So you can imagine how many people, that there are people who die without being diagnosed. There are others out there who don't get the diagnosis because they are the problem with fighting the fight. I actually talked to someone earlier today because our insurance is switched to, you have to, the way the paper they sent to us stated things, it sounded like you would have to get a second diagnosis with these people if you had any cardiac issues, any GI issues, any endocrine issues, any of a bunch of different things. And if you have cancer. Upon asking and learning more, because obviously I had to call them basically they said you would need to have this to get treatment, or else it wouldn't be paid for. So I called to find out. Now, they did say you would have to be diagnosed after August. If you were diagnosed before, you were okay. But knowing the way EDS is and all their different intermediary issues, I needed to make sure that when we needed treatment, we could receive treatment. And so I called, and they actually told me, one, our insurance is only doing it for cardiac, or not cardiac, for cancer, none of the others. Two, if you do need to work to have contacted them, whatever, all it is the doctor contacts them, and then they spread the word or then they call the patient. They talk to the patient about a few things, and the patient has the choice to use their services or not. And all you have to have is one what am I thinking? One call with them. Nothing more. So there was that. But we talked about the problems with EDS and how even after you're diagnosed, sometimes it causes issues. So we are waiting for my son. Let's see what time it is. 10:55. saw one of my son's friends here. So, and wave to them. I don't know. I'm guessing they've got a ride home. Hey, let's go look over. I know what we'll do while we're waiting. I watched that, read it off and on, just because some of the girls are beyond ridiculous, and it's like, excuse me, no, what do I need to do? No, it's not the update in response to coronavirus. Let's see. Don't want the game database either. Where is it? I can't remember. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Let's try SOS. Okay, now that I'm getting to the right one. I know where, I think I can find it. Let's look here. There it is. I knew it was in here somewhere. Okay. Incorrect stats and descriptions on the trace charm screen. So here's the trace charm information and max bonuses. Traces revealed. In other words, the max traces when you put it out from your trace charm. You saw I got, I think, 4 or something. The max is 8. Trace charm capacity, the most you can hold is 5. Additional fragments provided is 1. In other words, I think that's of the same one. Bonus wizarding and family XP bonus. And rare traces revealed is 1. So next week we'll get 75 field guides, 20 ministry manuals, 2 DADA books, 10 gold coins, and 3 level 3 Wonders of the Wizarding World rune stones. Okay, I do not see anyone on. I will be going live later today with YouTube, and I will talk to you later. Bye.